Today we'll continue our tour of the Moscow metro and we'll walk along the Koltsevaya line, which was opened in 1954. The Novoslobodskaya station was opened in 1950 on the section between Kurskaya and Belaruskaya. It has 3 halls, just like the Dobryninskaya station, and is decorated with these wonderful stained glass windows. Initially, the architects Dukhin and Strelkov wanted to make these stained glass windows from uranium glass and have Vera Mukhina design them, but the State Planning Committee refused to make such windows. So the stained glass was made in Latvia by local artists, who adorned the glass with scenes from peaceful life. The station's side wall is decorated with a mosaic panel depicting a woman who looks like the wife of the station's architect Alexei Dushkin. The top of the panel was originally decorated with a medallion featuring Stalin, but after his personal cult was debunked, the medallion had to be replaced with a composition depicting pigeons. For a long time, Novoslobodskaya didn't have any intersections with the other metro lines. Only in 1988, when the Serpukhowsko-Tymyrazovskaya line was built, the station finally received a transfer hub. The Komsomolskaya metro station was opened on the 13th of January 1952. It's the widest column-type station of the Moscow metro, decorated with 68 faceted columns. When building the station, the architects used modern urban lighting solutions, namely bright white fluorescent daylight lamps, which had just appeared at that time. So they installed ordinary fluorescent tubes in these elegant chandeliers. The station was the last work of the famous and talented Russian and Soviet architect Alexei Shusev, who died in 1949 without even seeing the station completed. In 1951, he was posthumously awarded the Stalin Prize. The station's design is inspired by the triumph of the Soviet people in the Second World War. The victory of the Soviet people is the leading theme of its interior. The ceiling is decorated with 8 small mosaic panels. The panels were created by Pavel Korin. However, he had to redo some of the panels after Stalin's personality cult was debunked. So the images that we can see now are completely different. The initial plan was to decorate the station's side wall with a monumental composition framed by a majolica panel. But in the end, the idea was abandoned, and this modest bust of Lenin was installed instead. The Taganskaya station was opened on the 1st of January 1950. Initially, the station's side wall was decorated with a huge monumental panel depicting Stalin, but it was later destroyed during the construction of a passage, and now all we can see here is a staircase. In 1972, the station received the first experimental light box. The light box did not survive to our time and can currently be found in the collections of the Museum of Moscow, while the station is decorated with modern light boxes. Under the walls of the station we can see the original chandeliers, decorated with drop-shaped lamps. The chandeliers themselves are adorned with wonderful blue ceramic panels in steel frames. The station features 32 ceramic panels, each decorated with golden and blue glaze and dedicated to different types of troops. The station was opened on the 1st of January 1952 and was initially called Serpuchowskaya. However, 11 years later it was renamed Dobryninskaya in honor of the revolutionary Pyotr Dobrynin, who was killed on Ostrozhenka Street. When designing the station, the architects drew inspiration from the ancient Russian architecture of Vladimir and Suzdal, decorating Dobryninskaya with arches that resemble the portals of ancient churches. But architect Leonid Pavlov paid dearly for it. He was expelled from the Academy of Architecture and accused of historical cosmopolitanism and formalism. However, the station's design was later approved and the architect continued to work on his famous projects. The station's design is very similar to that of Novoslobodskaya, but its pillars are decorated with these wonderful 16 inserts depicting the work of Soviet people. The composition depicts a Moldavian woman with grapes. In the post-war years, the Soviet manufacturing industry mastered the production of gas-discharge lamps, and the architects decided to use them when building the station. This is how the station got its rather unusual zigzag-shaped chandeliers, which had previously been decorated with horseshoe-shaped bulbs, but few of them remain to this day. Today, the brightness of the chandeliers has been increased, and we can see that the set of bulbs is incomplete. The station's side wall initially featured a medallion with the image of Stalin, but in 1967 it was replaced with a new one, The Morning of the Space Age by artist Pavlovsky. The new composition was made from smalt. Leonid Pavlov wanted to build a much more monumental lobby with vaulted ceilings, but in the end he had to make flat walls and significantly simplify the project, decorating the station with majolica panels and simpler chandeliers and lamps. This neutral-themed panel replaced a sculpture of Stalin, who was depicted giving a speech from the podium. If you look closely at the right panel, you can see a discrepancy. The people on Red Square are carrying a banner, but in the center of it we can see Yuri Gagarin. In the past, the banner depicted Stalin. Our tour of the Kultivaya line has come to an end. Continue walking with us and watching our episodes.